Welcome to Whale Week. This week on Discovery, we follow the wonderful life of wild orcas. See how they survive, hunt, and nurture their young. Mother killer whales stay with their offspring for the majority of their lives. They can grow to be 32 feet long and weigh as much as 22,000 pounds. These amazing animals have strong relationships and social communities, problem solve with other mammals, and can even recognize themselves in a mirror. Stay tuned for this amazing journey. This week only on Discovery.
Hello all you whale watching week Discovery Channel folk. I'm here live from Marineland as marine landowner Bob Dylan, telling you about how we have been under fire recently for legalities around our whales in captivity, and I'm here to say that actually they're very vague and, well, very non-specific, so we actually aren't doing anything wrong legally. And also there's actually not even laws surrounding the transportation around whales, and these creatures are so complex. I mean, there's not even a chance at trying to make a lawsuit against us. Because, I mean, it's not like, we treat our animals really well, no legalities or not, but yes, please, come to Marineland, everyone loves it.
I think I want to know a little bit more about marine parks. Let's go!
Why do we have whales in captivity? SeaWorld couldn't survive without them. They're super important for our finances. They bring most of our customers, and really when you talk about taking whales out of SeaWorld, you talk about shutting down SeaWorld itself. There are other reasons to have whales as well. I mean, if you look at the Vancouver Aquarium, they've had whales in captivity for years. And what have they done with them? They've studied them, they've learned, and now we understand way more about how humans impact whales in the ocean. So by keeping a couple of whales in captivity, we can learn so much and help out the entire whale population of the world. What did Blackfish do to SeaWorld? Ugh, Blackfish was a terrible thing. The makers of that film should be ashamed of themselves because they cost hundreds of people their jobs. SeaWorld itself, we lost $25.4 million as a result of it. Perhaps it wasn't a direct result, perhaps there are other factors. But if you look at the correlation, it's very distinct. And we lost almost 7% of our profits. What does that mean? We don't have a choice. We had to cut jobs all the way from managers right down to popcorn vendors. A terrible thing. And really, when you think about the balance, was it worth it? To bring out the case of one whale, was it worth it to ruin the lives of hundreds of people? Also, there are other people involved in this as well. If SeaWorld, which is a huge economic benefit to the country, if SeaWorld goes down, all the stockholders lose their profits. And the aquarium business and sea animal business represents $600 million annually. We can't afford to lose that as a nation. SeaWorld should be kept going.
Why does SeaWorld need whales? Well, our whales are the heart and soul of our park. They account for 70% of all of our revenue. I mean, not that money is the most important thing, but without our whales, the park wouldn't be in operation. Of course, our whales are just what everybody comes to see. Their size and their beauty is what attracts our 6 million customers annually. What are the reasons for such a decrease in our park's earnings? Well, I mean, after the release of Blackfish, we've seen a lot of decrease in our numbers. Our stocks have decreased by about 43% annually. We've seen continued drops in profit, revenue, and attendance in our parks. After a lot of negative media attention, a lot of our visitors feel more inclined to spend time down the road at Disney. They don't have animals in captivity. What are my plans for the future to improve our park? Well, I think for 2015, we have plans to adjust our marketing and upgrade our attractions. This is all part of our $50 million saving plan that's going to be implemented this year. Unfortunately, though, this plan does include a number of job cuts and cost cuts. Also, you may have heard in my recent conference that we are planning to install a 10 million gallon tank This is leading edge animal environmental design. It'll improve the whale's habitat substantially.
When is winter going to end? I need SeaWorld to be open. I need to see the whales. How else am I supposed to learn about the whales? Excuse me? You're the CEO of SeaWorld.
Yep, that's me.
I have some questions to ask you.
Okay, well, our park's closed right now because it's winter.
No, that's okay. I read in the paper that last year at the end of the season a trainer died.
Well, that did happen, but SeaWorld isn't held accountable for that. That had nothing to do with us. It was a freak accident. It has nothing to do with the habitats that our whales live in. They live in perfectly good conditions. They're very happy. It was just a freak accident that none of us could have controlled.
That's great, but you need to hurry up and open.
We'll open our doors soon enough.
Being one of the trainers here at SeaWorld, we see the orcas go through a lot of stress on a daily basis. Tealycoon is the largest orca in captivity, and he weighs approximately 12,500 pounds and is over 22 feet in length. At 2 years old, he was torn away from his family and his ocean home. After being transferred to SeaWorld, he formed stomach ulcers from the constant stress and attacks endured by other whales. During this time in captivity, he was involved with 3 human deaths due to the stress and aggravation that these animals have to endure. Aggression towards human is nearly non-existent in the wild. The stress of living in confined spaces put the whales and employees at constant risk.
Hello, I'm Whale Expert 1.
And I'm Whale Expert 2, and this is Eric the Whale. There are countless differences between whales' lives in captivity versus whales' lives in the wild. For example, in the wild, they get to live in an ocean and swim around traveling all day. In captivity, they're forced to live in tanks the size of bathtubs, essentially.
There are also many behavioral differences and health defects compared to whales in the wild and compared to whales in captivity. For example, whales in captivity tend to ram, bite, and scratch.
Eric the Whale, calm down!
They bite trainers and even other whales in captivity.
Whales in captivity are also forced to eat fish that have been frozen and then de-thawed. And in the wild, this is their only source of water, so it's not very hydrating when it's been frozen and then de-thawed. Also, the thrill of the hunt has been taken away from them.
Whales in captivity also show health defects, such as teeth problems, and they also show a dorsal fin collapse in 60 to 90% of captive whales.
Also, whales are very social creatures normally, but often have to live with only one or perhaps alone in captivity. They live in matrilineal societies in the water, where often they live with their mother for their whole lives, the son. Another thing about whales in captivity is that often trainers like to advertise that they live much longer. This is not the case, however, at all. Life expectancy in captivity is around 25 years, but is actually 50 to 80 in the wild. This is a ginormous difference. It's clear to see that any educational and conservational benefits of keeping whales in captivity do not outweigh the harm it does to these poor creatures. So aggressive, so small. Poor Eric.
Does the educational experience in marine parks justify keeping whales in captivity?
Well, honestly, after seeing Blackfish, I don't think it's worth it.
I don't think it's worth it.
I would say probably not, because it's shown to decrease their lifespan, and it puts them in an environment that they've not been trained to, that they're not supposed to be in.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty unethical, because it's based on it's for entertainment, but it's definitely shown to decrease lifespan. So just for entertainment, this is what's causing all these whales to die.
Not I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. Not healthy animals, I suppose. I could understand having animals that were hurt or something else like that, while they're being rehabilitated, but if once they're rehabilitated and just taking like healthy animals out of the ocean, no, not at all.
All right.